Hello, boils and ghouls, and welcome to Nik and Matt Get Goosebumps on the Cold Moon Network. That howl you just heard is my co-host, Nik.
Hello, everybody.
And I'm Matt.
Hi, Matt. It's nice to meet you.
So good to meet you, Nik. So
good.
What is this show all about? What are we doing here? What is the meaning of this?
Well, why don't we talk about ourselves? Who are we?
Well, I just introduced myself. I'm Matt. You're Nik. You howl a lot.
I
do.
I am the werewolf of Fever Swamp.
Oh, you got werewolf skin. But you know, we're getting way ahead of ourselves.
We are.
That's issues ahead. And in case you haven't gotten the grasp of what this show might be, it is a Goosebumps-centric show.
It sure is. This is Nik and Matt Get Goosebumps, where... What are we going to do, Matthew?
We're likely going to get goosebumps.
Are we going to give ourselves goosebumps?
We're going to give a little. We're going to get a little. There's going to be goosebumps going all around. And
There's going to be plenty of goosebumps to spread around.
So many. It's not just because the temperature's low.
No.
It's not a temperature thing. It's a internal thing. It's a fear factor.
It's more of a feeling.
Yeah.
There's goosebumps inside all of us, just waiting to get out.
And they're going to get. So what do you want to talk a little bit about your history with Goosebumps, Nik, before we get into the show?
Sure. All right. Well, again, let's just reiterate, this is going to be Nik and Matt Get Goosebumps, where we're going to be talking about the books and the show of Goosebumps. We're going to go book by book, and each episode we're going to be discussing said book. If there's an episode of the TV show that they made from the book, we'll be discussing that as well.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And we'll be going cover to cover.
Cover to cover. Matt, what was the first Goosebumps book you read, and what was how did you get into reading the series?
I was actually in class, not paying attention to what was going on around me because I saw this beautiful book just sitting under someone's desk, and I had to have it. I had to go and figure out what it was all about. It was the most colorful book I'd ever seen, and colors go a long way for a child.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it
How
drew
old were
me
you
in.
about?
I'd say I was around 8 to 12.
Okay.
12 seems a little late in the
12
game.
seems a little late.
To be, that's the end of elementary school. Let's say I was 7.
Okay.
And
It's a good, solid age.
yeah, and I walk over, I take a look at Goosebumps issue number 9, Welcome to Camp Nightmare. Really pulled me in. Kind of a little scary. I don't think I liked scary things. I was afraid of Ernest Scared Stupid when I was a kid. And so something like Welcome to Camp Nightmare.
As an adult, I'm scared of Ernest Scared Stupid.
Doesn't even have to be an Ernest horror movie. Could be Ernest
Just
anything.
Ernest anything.
Slam Dunk Ernest. They're all horrifying. But Welcome to Camp Nightmare. That's the first book I picked up. I think I told my mom about it. We went out and found it. After that, I was hooked. Went back to the beginning. Read them all. And that is what sparked up my love of reading. And at the end of the Goosebumps series, that love died. And I only had one love. And it was the Goosebumps love.
Okay.
So I don't know. How are books after Goosebumps? Do they get any better? Is there a world of reading after Goosebumps?
I mean, yeah, there was this kid who did magic tricks, and was the whole thing.
What?
Yeah. Harold something.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Anyway, that's going to happen a lot. I'm going to make references, and
I'm not going to get them.
You're not going to get them. You listening at home or wherever you are on the go probably won't understand. I'm 80 years old.
That explains a lot.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I'm Jack Parr.
Yeah, I was just going to say you got Jack disease. See, I got that reference.
Yeah.
We're flowing here. We got some chemistry.
We got some chemistry.
For strangers on the street.
Met.
Yeah. So, Nik, what was your first book?
The first book was A Night in Terror Tower. And I remember reading it and not quite grasping some of the stuff that was going on. Because, I was fairly young. I was about 6 or 7. My dad and my sister came back they just went shopping one day, and then, my sister came in, it's like, here, we got books. And, then after that, I was like, oh, there's more of these? All right, let's read some of them. And, I was also, even as a very young child, very into, the horror and science fiction genres. One of the first movie I remember seeing that wasn't a cartoon was The Wizard of Oz. like the fantasy film of its time.
Yeah.
And all the other movies I was watching were like old horror movies, like all the Universal monsters. It was kind of right up my alley, and it was at my speed, so to speak, like for like the same age group.
Yeah, definitely. This all of Goosebumps kind of was it didn't really get me into reading after Goosebumps, but it was like the gateway horror, and it opened up everything for me because I was never that into horror, and then it was just start watching things like The Evil Dead.
Okay, so it was like the opposite for you. Like it introduced you to the world of horror, whereas I was just like, oh, this is horror I can digest.
Oh yeah.
Age appropriate, I guess, because I mean, Bram Stoker's Dracula. It's like, oh, cool. There's blood everywhere, and she's not wearing a top. I'm enjoying this, but
you knew you were doing something wrong.
No, because everyone we watched it as a family.
You watch nudity as a family?
Look, I didn't say it was comfortable. I'm just saying we watched. But let's get back to Goosebumps, which is what this is about.
Exactly, Nick. And I do want to mention just before we go that we are doing this not only for our deep love of Goosebumps, but also to coincide with the 25th year anniversary. And we welcome you all to join us on this odyssey back to a simpler time, the 90s. Nick, I hope you're down with the GBC, the Goosebumps Book Club, that is, because we want you all to follow along with us and send us your feedback as we go from books 1 to 62. Send us your thoughts by email at WEGOTGOOSEBUMPS@gmail.com. And I want to assure you that the G in Gmail does not stand for Goosebumps. No, it stands for Google. For legal reasons, we have to disclose this.
Well, I guess that just about does it for our introductory episode. So, coming up on our first episode, Look Alive! Welcome to Dead House. It will just kill you.